Bloomberg fell down and went Boomberg, and Kenny Klippenstein sorted through the ashes of people who used to work for him and asked them a few questions, and some of them approached him. Ken Klippenstein joins us now on the Damage Board. How do you do, sir?
Hey, Brett, great to be on.
Fantastic to have you. Your article in The Nation is called "This Was a Grift: Bloomberg Staffers Explain Campaign's Demise." So what was the demise? What was it like talking to these people, and what did you find?
Well, it's pretty astonishing because usually when a campaign ends, people are disappointed. It's perhaps not shocked. They may have seen the writing on the wall, but there's a sense of, feeling like you invested a bunch of time and energy into something that ultimately didn't end up working. So even if it didn't come as a surprise, there's this kind of sadness that settles on these campaigns. That was not the case with the Bloomberg campaign. If anything, it was sort of giddiness to see this person whom many described themselves as grifting to work for. Crash and burn after having spent $700 million on this campaign, and that was a very unusual response, at least as far as campaigns that I've seen in the past.
So right, because I saw in the wake of Warren being out of the election, folks being like, I literally just need some time before I move on. So why are Bloomberg staffers specifically the ones who are so giddy and refer to it as a grift? Is it because of those stories I've heard where he spent a bunch of money on staffers?
Yeah, well, staffers tend to be younger folks, either just out of college or around that age, don't have a lot of money, and the way things are now, not a whole lot of options. So I think it was essentially a mercenary campaign, and many will tell you that straight up that they joined because he offered a really ostentatious set of perks, including, I just learned today, many of them will be able to keep their high-end MacBooks and iPhones, in addition to getting paid far and away the highest, way above what staffers for other candidates, like Biden or Sanders, for instance, would get paid. And then also it was less competitive to sort of get in it. So I think those create the ingredients for a sort of mercenary force that is going to want to, take everything that's not nailed down, but at the same time, perhaps not, or at least according to the folks I talked to, certainly not believe in the message of the Bloomberg campaign.
So that's it. Like I've seen that in so many movies and TV shows where like the mercenaries don't defend their homeland like the countrymen themselves. Did you talk to anyone who's moving on to other campaigns, or were these people who just kind of stepped forward because they're like, I know a lot of people that work for the census because they're just like, the census pays well, man, and it's easy.
Yeah, I mean, of course, there's going to be a bit of a selection bias here, and that the folks that reach out to me, I would assume, are going to be unhappy with the campaign. But I want to stress this is not based on 2 or 3 people. I talked to about a dozen people specifically for the story, and more than that in general. And I was just blown away. And I'll tell you, other reporters were blown away by the sort of chattiness on the part of the campaign. I think there was a sense of responsibility to, since they're pushing this campaign that they don't believe in, try to offset some of that. And I get into it in the story where I describe someone saying, I feel guilty that I sold my soul for this for $1 in terms of working for this campaign. I tend to have a bit of sympathy for a lot of these folks, since without getting into specifics, I don't want to get anyone in trouble. Many of them are not folks with a whole lot of options at this point in time. So I think they tried to offset what they perceived as doing something they didn't believe in by helping to inform the public in many regards, while perhaps making a bit of money themselves.
Yeah.
So yeah, it certainly, there was a sellsword aspect to all of it.
That's amazing. Your article is such an amazing read. I wish we had more time, but we've run out of time. Ken Klippenstein, what are you working on right now?
Coronavirus. Plenty of good news on that front, so keep your eyes peeled.
All right, we will. And everyone follow Ken Klippenstein because you on Twitter are amazing, sir.
I appreciate it.
For more political news breakdowns, interviews, stories of activism, and me trying my hardest to care about the occasional big celebrity news story, subscribe to our YouTube channel at youtube.com/thedamagereport. And you can ring the bell wherever it is so you don't miss anything.